Welcome to another exciting edition of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm PaperGoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Oh, we got a bit of damage behind us.
Looks like the DVD cover to the movie Unbreakable with Bruce Willis.
Nice. That'll draw people in on that.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about bad packing. And I know that to anybody who watched our live show, and do catch them, we are the most interactive live show on the internet in the reselling category on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I think I can certainly say that we meet that criteria.
I would hope so.
At least top five.
So. Yeah,
at least top five.
For sure.
And anybody who doesn't know, just come across the channel. I'm PaperGoy. I've got 40,000 items listed between eBay and Amazon and Etsy. I just sold an Etsy item, so I'm beaming right now. Yeah. I have a day job, and I work out of my house.
I'm Mr. Magazine. I have a large warehouse that's at capacity, 15 employees, and 500,000 items online.
So on our live show, I went and, I don't know if you remember this or not. Do you remember what I showed you was the packing material?
Yes, I do.
Well, tell everybody. Or are you going to make them all? Okay, everybody go search the old live show out.
Yeah, I want to make you tell it way better than me, though. You should really say it.
It's a cereal box. They had taken a cereal box, and I bought 3 comics from the person. They put no plastic, no bags, nothing on the comics themselves to protect them. Mm-hmm. They took them, they stuck them inside of a broken down cereal box, taped the ends of the cereal box, and stuck it inside of an envelope and sent it to me. Now, to their credit, it got there.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say, to their credit, it got there safely.
Can't really complain.
I mean, I guess you could take an egg and put a stamp on it and write the address on it, and if it gets there correctly, then good for you. But now you've had, and I've had, I mean, we all learn through experience. And I know if I went back and looked at some of my early packing jobs, I am sure that I would shudder. And I'd say, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
But then again, we're going back 20 years.
Yeah, but like some of my bad packing jobs might have been good for the item. So it may have looked like a mess.
Oh, yeah.
But it was packed well.
And people talk about that. They call that Frankenboxing,
okay.
Where you grab a couple of different boxes and you kind of have to, because sometimes you don't have a box the right size.
Right.
And actually, I read something interesting on a blog somewhere or other where they were talking about the positive thing about Frankenboxing is it tends not to get the porch pirates because they're driving around the neighborhood looking for things to steal off people's porches, and they see, an Amazon box, and then they see this monstrosity, and they're looking and going, what is that junk?
Yeah.
And they don't want to steal it, so it's... True. You kind of protect the items from stealing by making it look absolutely terrible on the outside. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with Frankenboxing. Sometimes you have to do it. You just don't have the proper size box in stock.
Right.
And it wasn't worth buying because it was a one-off item, or or another case will happen is you may have the right box for the item, but somebody bought 3 different items and you want to ship them together to save shipping and all that kind of thing. So you have to do an odd size box type deal. But I'm thinking of one item that you sold, I'm not going to say regularly, but you did sell it a couple of times way back when, and what a pain it was to ship, and I think it got damaged every single time. And that was neon signs.
Yeah.
And
those are tough.
There's, I remember you had to have bubble wrap around every single little piece of the neon.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem with it is if one piece of the neon breaks, then the whole thing doesn't work.
Yeah, all that's a little shift. That's all it takes for that glass to break. Yeah, those are the worst. If you have the original box, maybe the packing's better for something like that, but I don't mess with them anymore. And bobbleheads, too. Those...
Well, why don't you give the little tip on what to do on bobbleheads?
Definitely wrap around the neck so the head doesn't shift and shake at all. That definitely helps. But still, we've had issues with the legs being broken off, the head coming off, and a lot of people get nervous about the head coming off, but it's basically just glued on anyways. If you where the little spring is, so you can glue those back on. I tell them because they get all nervous, like it's broken. I'm like, well, it's not broken. The head just came loose.
Well, let me ask you a quick question. I've got a bobble for sale. Mm-hmm. It's new in box. What do you do? Because you can't really open the box, can you?
I just had a problem with a Marshawn Lynch the same way. It was new in box. It looked like it was, firmly in there. The plastic and the box, everything was good to go.
Now, I don't mean to interrupt you, but do they, when they ship them out, new in box, are they like stuck in there and like molded plastic around them to protect them?
Yeah, this particular one was. Okay. So, but even if I bubble wrapped it, the box, it wouldn't have made a difference because somehow it got dropped or something, and it shook hard enough where it broke off the feet. So the guy got it, and the feet were broke off.
New inbox with broken
inbox,
feet.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, they must have thrown it or something. Because the thing about what could you possibly do to save that, stop that from happening? You can't. No matter, unless you took it out and wrapped it that way and then put it in a different box. Well, who's going to do that? So,
Well, but you also can't because it's new in box. I mean,
right, and then you're taking it out. You're right.
Can't open it up. Yeah,
right, exactly. So
wow.
Yeah, that wasn't. Luckily, he took a partial refund, like $10 to repair it because he wanted it. It was a hard bobblehead apparently,
and he wanted it in his collection to show and all
put
that
on
kind
a
of
shelf.
stuff.
Yeah,
so it's no big deal to him on that. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and another item that you don't sell anymore that you had some problems early on, and I know Auction Professor sells them all the time, and he's got some videos on how to pack them because we certainly didn't pack them right back in the day, and that's 78 records.
Yeah,
are absolutely a bear to pack.
Yeah, try to stay away from those. Some old ones may sell every now and then, but now we'll use more bubble wrap, more boxing. So.
Yep. So, any other things you can think of that have received? I mean, I've received things throughout the years, and again, packing 101. Put the item if it has to be, which is something collectible, something paper. Put the item in plastic, especially in the wintertime. And even in the wintertime, well, I used to use the craft envelopes. And I don't use those anymore. Now I use the poly bag or the padded envelopes.
Right.
One of the reasons why is I live in the Northeast. And you got the craft envelope, which is essentially made out of paper. And you drop it, or the mailman drops it, or the mailman puts it on your porch and puts it down in snow. You got the water all over the outside of the craft envelope.
Right.
Water and paper don't mix very well. Luckily at that point I do put plastic on the item inside as well to protect it also. But that's number one, is obviously always use the piece of plastic around a paper item if you're selling it.
Sure, yeah.
Another big thing to do, no matter what, is put some kind of cardboard in there, something to stiffen it, because you don't want it to get bent up in shipping.
Yeah. What we do is if something's $25 or $30, if it's a record, magazine, or comic, we double cardboard it just for extra protection. You never know,
Oh, another thing that we've both had problems with in the past. And this has to do with using priority supplies. Do not trust the glue on the priority boxes and the priority envelopes.
True.
Tape over it. Yes, I know that they've got the glue on there and it sticks. It's not always good. And another tip, you don't have to do anything on the sides of the priority envelopes when they come because they're already made. Tape down the sides because they will come apart at that seam. It will,
especially if you're if you're putting 5 magazines in and they're bulging. I mean, that's a sign right there.
Yep. So definitely, and what you do on that case is when you put the label on, assuming you're using printer and taping the label on like we do. I know a lot of people out there use roller printers and all that kind of thing, but we use the paper and we tape the label on. When you put the label on, just tape down to hold it on right over the edges of the envelope.
Exactly.
That way you're using the same piece of tape, but it's doing double duty there.
Right.
As far as that goes. Any other things you can think of that have come in terrible packaging throughout the years?
Obviously, framed posters. Anything framed with glass is always a nightmare. So you got to be careful.
Glasses. Yeah, glasses definitely.
And sometimes no matter how much bubble wrap you use, you just can't prevent what they're going to do to it. They could throw it down and then put, a safe that's in a box on top of it. Who knows? So, over the years, I've seen it all pretty much. So.
Well, in double box.
Yes, double box anything. Yeah, I do. Especially now with the CGC comics, we had one gentleman that had 3 damaged ones and 200 other happy customers that then had no damaged ones. But we do double box them if it's $300 or more.
Well, can I tell you what I do on CGC comics?
What's that?
I send them all out priority,
Yep.
and I take them and I stick the comic. It will just fit into a padded flat rate envelope.
Okay.
I stick it in a padded flat rate envelope. Then I take 2 larger pieces of cardboard, put them on the outside of it and sandwich it.
Yep.
Then I take it and put it inside of a box, and then I put that box, I put bubble wrap around the cardboard thing, stick it inside of a box, and if it's really expensive, I put the box inside of a second box. Otherwise, I do it that way with no room for it to shift in there, and then you've got, it's padded, it's sandwiched, it's re-padded, and then it's in a good box.
Well, I think if you double box, I think even UPS or post office, if it's double box and you can prove that, you're almost guaranteed the insurance money. But if you don't double box it, sometimes you may not get the insurance money. And anything overseas, I double box it. A value, I double box it because it's going a long way. Anything could happen. You know, if it's traveling, 10,000 miles, protect it best you can.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps you some. Do note down below, comment down below if you could, some of the packing tricks that you've learned, some of the items that you've seen out there that you've always had problems with. The only things I end up buying are comic books and things like that, and I've seen some atrocious things coming in on how people pack. So do use plastic on it, please, and do hit the like button, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye bye.
Big.